بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، أما بعد. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا علما، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Bismillah. This is an annual seminar that we have in which we try to cover the rulings related and the procedure for Hajj. Unfortunately, there's a device that projects this directly to the two screens, and that's I was just checking if they found it. That device is missing, and so for the sisters, what I'm going to try to do is have them zoom into this a little. I'm messaging right now. If they're able to zoom into this through that camera, then you can at least see it better on your screen, inshallah. And they lost the device, they ordered a new device, and then they had that device, someone took it yesterday. And so this is what it is, alhamdulillah, no problem. Just asking them if they can do that. Okay, bismillah. I'm going to just keep my phone out, which I don't like to do during presentations, so if they message me, I'm able to see what they're saying. Now, bismillah, the Hajj is really a journey of two lifetimes. Why? Because the Hajj itself takes place once in our lifetime, and it establishes a great benefit for our next life, which is the hereafter. And those individuals who perform Hajj properly, they receive the benefit and they see the benefit both in this world and in the hereafter. So people like to say it's a journey of this world. It is, but really it's a journey for the hereafter. And metaphorically speaking, it is a reality check. It's a reminder for an individual who goes to prepare for his or her death. Now today what we're going to do is we're going to look at, with every section, we're going to look at three particular elements. One is the what. Everyone's here for the physical element of Hajj. How do we perform Hajj? What constitutes as a valid Hajj? What doesn't constitute as a valid Hajj, etc. And for everyone in advance, I'm going to let you know this wonderful book. It's called Perfecting the Journey. The founder at Sacred Learning, which is the masjid in Lincolnwood, wrote this. This is the 2022 version. The latest version, the 2025 or 2026 version, is solid. It's updated. And this version, what it does is, and it's available for free online as a PDF. If you go to the website sacredlearning.org, you can also purchase a copy in person or online for $5. I also have a few extra. What I'll do is I'll message my son. If he's going somewhere, I'll just ask him to drop it off over here. And that way I can give it to you, or you can just take my number and I have extras and I'm here daily, give it to you, inshallah. But this is an extremely beneficial book. It's not a book of du'as. It's pretty much a book that relates to all the steps of Hajj, and it's very small, so you can keep it with you. And what it does, it gives you the steps of Hajj, along with the spiritual realities, which I've included some of this in here. I mean, this is one of my teachers, so I studied this with him and I studied other texts with him, but I want to recommend that right away. We're going to look at every physical or legal element. What is the ihram? What is tawaf? Why sa'i? So we're going to look at the what, then the why. Why do we do sa'i, for example? Why do we do tawaf? Why do we wear ihram? And then the how. How can I do this to have my Hajj accepted? And how can I do it in a very practical way? And every so often, like I'm going to say right now, I'm going to stop and ask, are there any questions? My recommendation is that try to keep the questions to the section itself, because oftentimes it's responded to in the presentation itself within the next section, the forthcoming sections. And if it hasn't been, then if you have a phone or a pen or a pencil, you can just make a quick note that I have this question. If it's not responded to, then at the end, there'll be general questions at all. Any questions? No. Now, what is Hajj? Hajj itself, the word hajja yahijju, has two specific meanings. And any time you study any science, you study any science of deen, you're always going to look at the lughwi meaning and the istilahi meaning. The lughwi meaning is what? What is the literal meaning of something? The istilahi meaning is what? What is the technical meaning? And although the technical meaning is relevant and necessary for an act of worship, the literal meaning is also important. For example, the word siyam means refraining from food, drink, and marital relations from dawn to sunset, okay? While in a state of purity, major purity. Now that, by the way, is a small caveat. You can fast outside of purity, but this is a woman who's in her cycle, she would not be fasting. That's the technical meaning, but what's the linguistic meaning? To withhold, to abstain, imsak. Now why is that helpful? Because a person might be avoiding food, drink, and marital relations from dawn to sunset, but they're engaging in sin. They're not withholding from sin. They're engaging in a lot of permissible but unnecessary things. They're not withholding from it. And they're losing out on the spirits of fasting. Hajj means to visit specific places at specific and perform actions at specific times. So what are the places? Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafah, and Mecca. What are the specific times? The times will be between the 8th of Dhul Hijjah and the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. And what are these specific actions? Wuquf, being in a place for a moment. Tawaf, going around the Kaaba. Sa'i, running back and forth between Safa and Marwa. What else is there? There is the Rami, the Jamarat, stoning. What else is there? There's the halq or the qasr, the shaving or trimming of the hair. And then there is going to be the qurbani, which is the slaughter. So these are the acts. So someone has to fulfill the timings, the places, and the acts themselves. Now, how is this related? Because what does Hajj mean? It's qasd. It's an azima. It's qasd of something big. It's an intent to do something big. So we don't just intend only to go there. We intend to change our lives through it. And this is why it's the journey of a lifetime. Now, why and or how was Hajj made mandated? Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. That for the sake of Allah is that one performs the Hajj of the house, meaning they perform the rites of the house, مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا, so long as they're able to find a way to do this. And that we'll get into later. And what did the Prophet ﷺ mention? أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ قَدْ فَرَضَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمُ الْحَجِّ فَحُجُّوا. That, O mankind, Allah has commanded Hajj, so perform the Hajj. So this is going to be what Hajj means, and this is how we're going to look at whether or not, why we've been given the command. Now we have to identify whether or not it's due upon us. Hajj will be due upon any and every Muslim so long as they are mature, they're sane, They're free. A slave does not have to perform Hajj. They are capable both financially and physically, and they have the knowledge as well. This is who, so if my child, Allah bless me with 5 children, these 5 children, some are older, one is almost 20, some are younger, one is about a little older than 8. They're Muslim. The 8-year-old, not mature, you remove him. All 5 of them, most of the time, are relatively sane, so they'd be included. Are they capable? Financially, none of them are capable. So it doesn't count for them. So you have to ask yourself, do I fall in these categories? And if it's yes, 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 alhamdulillah, fard is necessary for you. Now there is one more thing to look at, which is the conditions of Hajj. In the condition of Hajj, you have to have sound health. You have to have a route that is not stopped by political or war-based realities, or just dangers in the road that won't let you get there, which in general doesn't exist today. For the women, you have to have a mahram who's with you. Now, sometimes women say, well, I don't have a mahram. Can I still go? I know the laws in Saudi have changed, and if you go in a group, they permit it. We're talking about this from a legal Islamic perspective. We're not talking about this from a governmental position. And if you have now fulfilled these requirements that it's obligatory upon me, the fara'id over here, and we fulfill the shurut, the shara'id. What are those? The conditions I started mentioning a moment ago, which is that you have to have the ability to have sound health, a safe route, and you have companionship, and a valid Hajj that you're able to wear ihram, you're able to do it at its time, and you don't engage in intimate relations in the period of time that you're in your ihram, actually a little past that as well, then Hajj is necessary for you, and you would be included amongst those whose Hajj, inshallah, is accepted. Any questions so far about this idea of what is Hajj and upon whom is it necessary? Yes?
So if you go back to number 5, it says the capable for knowledge, right?
Yes. So knowledge is that you have to know it's due upon you, and you have to have the ability to act it out. You don't have to have memorized everything. If someone is in your group who's leading you through the Hajj, that is knowledge for you. Yeah, that is sufficient knowledge. You don't have to sit down. In fact, if you look at certain areas of knowledge, certain people who are not even scholars, but they are very well versed in those areas, they sometimes will be asked to lead you in Hajj, and they're better than the scholars to lead you. Why? Because they have practical experience. They're there every year, and the scholar is there, and he knows what the book is saying, but sometimes just stops for a moment and pauses. Why? Because there's not experience there. So this is why a lot of these groups will have very experienced, seasoned veterans there, and that is often better. But then when you come to questions of jinayat, which we go to later, what broke my Hajj, etc., then you turn to the scholar and ask. And it's best if you have them in one, but usually they're 2 separate people. Let me just make sure that they were able to take care of this. Okay, now. Yeah, please. More? The other side? Yes, female accompanied by a mahram. From a current governmental position, they can go with without a mahram. Now, depending on the school of thought that you follow. So I always break up the school of thoughts into 5 groups. In terms of the Hanafi school, the Maliki school, the Shafi'i school, the Hanbali school, and the Ghair Muqallid school. Someone's like, I don't follow the schools of thought. I follow the Hadith and Quran without scholarly interpretation. Well, they have this. I don't want to put it down in any way. These 5 ways that you look at it, there'll be differences about this. Can a woman travel or not? And this is why, knowing this is a larger general masjid, I don't like to give the ruling only based upon one school. That's why I just left it there, and the person can, based upon their own practice, decide. Now, what's the time for Hajj? The time for Hajj is literally after Ramadan. The moment Eid al-Adha is over, and you'll see this actually applies in terms of, and I put the fatwa on just so we can take a look, and I might just bounce over to that page. The moment the month of Ramadan ends and you performed your Eid, these are the days of Hajj. Shawwal, you sort of begin your preparations. Dhul Qa'dah, some people actually start traveling by then, especially if they have an on-foot travel or a slower conveyance. They're not as wealthy, they can't, or they don't have the access to fast motor transportation, or people of the past. You know, my uncle, he went to Hajj on a ship. This was years back. He came to America on a ship as well. They did not have the luxury of getting into a car driving, or the plane and getting into the plane and arriving. They had to do this in over a slower conveyance, and it took a longer period of time. Now, in these days post-Ramadan, you prepare for Hajj. And preparation for Hajj, what we should recognize, is not restricted only to the year you intend. Because people in the past, they were only able to gather this wealth up, and now the same again because it's just so expensive to go. Allah blessed me to go for Hajj in 2001. And the deal was perform Hajj in 2001 for 2001. So it cost $2,001 when I went for Hajj to perform Hajj. You can't even get a ticket now for that. But that's what it cost back then. And I was very fortunate that Allah Ta'ala gave me the opportunity then to go. And so when you're preparing financially, people of the past would also, in present too, prepare spiritually. I'm putting all this money in. I may not have this money ever again. So let me make sure I maximize this opportunity. Now, when a person's preparing, they prepare by maybe if they have some sins they want to get rid of because they want to go to Allah in the most pure state. So what do? They begin to try to navigate away from those sins. Or they have forgiveness they're seeking. It wasn't in the past you just picked up things, I'm going for Hajj, this is it, please forgive me, and mass text. That didn't happen before. So then what did people used to do? They used to meet people. They used to go and, I wronged you in the past, or maybe I wronged you in the past, I seek forgiveness now. If I don't want to go for Hajj. Or they would try to earn money to pay back debts. They would go, so-and-so, do I owe you anything, owe you anything? Yes, I do. What do I owe you? Oh, I forgot about that. You're right, I do owe you. Let me now begin to accumulate wealth to give it back to you so I can leave in case I don't come back. Okay, this is all about the time for Hajj. Any questions about this so far? No? Now we get into a bit of the nitty-gritty. The ihram. So ihram, by the way, I'm going to be just very open. I am struggling to speak right now. Why? Number one, I have a speech impediment. That's why if you ever look at me when I give talks, I never look at people. Alhamdulillah, I read recently, like a year or two ago, that the Prophet, when he would speak, he would not really look at people face to face. He would sort of look up like this, and that's my habit. I'm very happy that that's the case. But two, I also have a speech impediment. And because I have to focus on something, so my mind doesn't race and then wander, it's important for you to know this. Why? Because this morning I had a very bad allergic reaction. I was about to go to the ER. Throat was closing up, tongue was swelling, etc. So alhamdulillah, I was able to avoid that and just take Benadryl. So the Benadryl's made me sleepy. And so I drink a lot of caffeine before coming to counter it. So if you see me overly zealous in my presentation, I'm just flying through, please stop me. I don't feel embarrassed about it. If you see my stuttering a lot because I've lost that control, just stop me because sometimes I don't notice it. And I don't mind at all. We're all brothers and sisters in the deen. It doesn't embarrass me at all. You can just say, brother, you're just going a little fast. Can you slow it down a little? And I mentioned that also why? Because I had taken out an ihram just to show you how to wear it. And as I left over here, I left like a bag full of things. My ihram belts, which you don't have to see, but sometimes people like to see it put on. And some years I do it, some years I don't. This year I was planning on doing it. Last year I didn't do it. But then I just left without it, so I apologize. Now, ihram. The word ihram, that's the common clothing that everyone wears. But ihram has a definition. What's the linguistic definition? Ahrama yuhrimu ihramun fahuwa muhrim. This is to make something haram. So in the state of ihram, we know that technically speaking, it's garments you wear for Hajj, and these garments, they also have a state that goes along with it. Just because a person is wearing a military uniform doesn't mean they're currently in battle. Sometimes they have to wear those fatigues, but they're not in battle. They're still enlisted. So they are in the clothing of war, but they're not in war. Sometimes, like I have my kids, they do these sports. So they're wearing the uniform, but it's not game time yet. Why? It's before the game. We're not going to have a chance to go home and put on your clothes for the game. Just wear it out right now, then you can continue when it's time for the game. So someone sees them, my daughter's wearing her softball jersey, and she's in the masjid. She's not in a state of playing. I hope not. She's praying. She's young. She's praying. But the clothing is there. And sometimes with these young kids, you see they come to the game and they forget their ihram. They forget their clothes. They're playing, they made an excuse for them, but they're not in the clothes that match it. Both have to come together for the actual Hajj. You wear these specific garments, and you enter a state, and they don't necessarily happen simultaneously, and I'll explain. So why do we need to know the linguistic meaning? Because in the state of ihram, certain things become haram on a person that they would not have been haram outside that state. And spiritually, because if we go back to this, the spiritual, the why, because these are garments that mirror the garments we wear at the time when we are buried. And it should remind us that I'm going back to my Lord. And how would I be once I die from my Lord if I don't, in this state, be good? So it's a constant reminder that I'm preparing for that final journey. How am I in front of my Lord? Have I cleansed myself spiritually and physically as well? Now, ihram by gender, there's a difference. The ihram by gender, men will wear two cloths. The lower garment is what we call like a dhoti or a lungi or an izar. It's a lower waist cloth. It's just one sheet, you wrap it around your waist. There are no undergarments underneath it. There's no pants with it, etc. It's just a sheet. Now, those two garments, they cannot be stitched like a garment. Like they can't have a sleeve. They can't have like a pant leg. But they can be stitched around the waist. Because if you ever wear a lungi, sometimes they are completely stitched around to form a complete circle. And you can step inside of it and just wrap it. Or they are open and then you wrap it and you bind it. The lower body has one, the upper body has one that you just put over the shoulder. Now women, you will wear regular clothing. You will wear regular clothing. As we're talking about this, I'm just going to ask my son to bring it. Now the women's garments, there's no restriction. They can look fancy, they can look plain, they can have patterns, or they can have no pattern. However, there are rules that come along with the women's ihram, just like the men's ihram. And those rules are that we will not have anything scented upon us, and we will not have anything that covers the face for the men and women. For the women, your face will be exposed, even if you wear niqab, and the men, a lot more. Our head is exposed. We're not to have anything sitting upon our head. There could be an umbrella above it, but it can't be touching the head. And when we are in this clothing and the state together, certain actions will not be permissible. When you wear the ihram, how do you put it on? You first perform a ghusl, if you're capable, a shower. If not, at least a wudu. Because sometimes you're in transit and you're at a location, maybe Jordan, maybe Turkey, maybe, I don't know, wherever else the stops are before. Or you're on the plane and then they're about to announce that we are approaching the miqat, the place you have to have ihram before you enter. We got into that a little later. And when they tell you this, you're like, I can't go do the ghusl in the plane. So you just wudu in the bathroom and that's sufficient. Then you put on the garments. Once you put on the garments, you apply scent to yourself. Didn't I just say we can't wear scent? But remember what I said about ihram. Ihram is a set of garments. It's also a what? A state. And you're wearing the garments, but you're not in the state yet. So for example, sometimes in my home, if you come, I'm wearing the lungi. And I know it sounds weird, but because I know this is the common practice of the Prophet ﷺ, sometimes I'll wear a lungi on the bottom, I'll just have a shawl over. Why? Because some days I'm like, I just want to wear what he wore for a period of time. I'm not wearing the whole day going outside grocery, but sometimes I'll do that. I show my kids this is what the Prophet used to wear. We're very fortunate we have much more wealth, but this is how he used to dress. If you come to my home and you see me like this, am I in ihram? But it looks like it, it's white. But I'm not in the state. Over here, and we're going to go into in detail soon, that you did your ghusl or wudu, you put on the garments, but you're not in the state yet. And it's not permissible to put scent on during the state. So when you're putting ihram on, you actually will use scented soap when you're doing wudu or ghusl. You will put on deodorant, which you normally cannot do. You will use scented toothpaste to brush your teeth if you want. But once you've applied the state, then you'll pray 2 rak'ah and you'll begin to make dua. And you'll make the intention, and now you're still not in a state of ihram until you recite the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. That is the button by which we activate the state. So because the ihram is going to be a multiple day journey, which can get a little smelly and sweaty, and that's why usually on Hajj you'll carry a backup ihram with you, or even 2 if need be, women and men alike. It's permissible through the hadith to put on scent before you enter the state. But once you push that button, which is the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, then you become in the state of ihram. It's not haram to have pre-applied scent, it's haram to apply the scent. Okay? And then you get to the miqat points. And what are the miqat points? These are going to be 6 particular areas. Dhul Hulayfa, if you're coming from the north, namely from Medina to Munawwara. Juhfa. Juhfa is going to be if you're coming from pretty much this side. Yes, for Africa, from the west, etc. You reach this point as well. Yalamlam, if you're coming from the south, you're coming from Yemen. Qarnun Manazil, if you're coming from Yemen and other areas in the south. And then Dhat al-Irq, which is like if you're coming from Iraq, you're coming from Iran, you're coming from Russia. So now, imagine, around the haram, there's a very specific set of lines that are present. And they have signs saying you're entering the haram. Until you enter that point, you don't have to wear ihram. Once you enter the point, you are now within the sacred precinct. So before crossing over is where you'll wear the ihram. And this is why at stops across the different European countries, wherever you're coming from India and Pakistan, I know the stops are there as well, or you might be coming from there, they will either, 1, give you a place within the airport where you can put on ihram with comfort and ease, or in number 2, on the airline themselves, they'll say, in 30 minutes we are approaching the miqat. In 15 minutes we're approaching the miqat. Now what do a lot of people do practically? What people will do practically is because they don't want to be, and you'll see this, they don't want to be in a position where in ihram they get uncomfortable. So what do they decide to do? They say, I'm going to put on the ihram. They will do their ghusl. They'll wear their ihram garments. They'll apply scent, deodorant, etc. They'll pray 2 rak'ah. They'll make dua after the 2 rak'ah. Long dua, anything you want to ask, so long as you're not going to miss your flight. And then they'll make the intention, and then they will not say talbiyah. What is talbiyah? Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. إن الحمد والنعمة لك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. لبيك اللهم لبيك. Our Lord, my Lord, we are here for you. لبيك, we're here for you. لا شريك لك لبيك. There's no partner that you have. We're here for you only. إن الحمد, all the praise, والنعمة, and all the blessings, لك, is for you. والملك, and all that exists is all for you. لا شريك لك, there's no God but you. When you say that, that's when you activate the ihram. So they'll make this announcement on the plane, and you're already in your ihram clothing. You haven't made intention yet. So what do you do now all of a sudden? You say that intention. You say that labbaik, I should say. You say that labbaik, and it puts you into the state. So you see all these men who are on the plane, they look like they're in their ihram, or women you can't really tell, and they're wearing their clothing. And then all of a sudden you'll hear, in some of these airlines, they even play the talbiyah, and you say it with them, and you've activated intention, practically speaking. If you are afraid you're going to fall asleep before you reach that point, just say the labbaik before you fall asleep, and then you'll be fine. It'll count for you. Also, another practical reality is that because certain things like removing hair, now most people will not cut their hair or anything when they're in ihram, but they might scratch, and the scratching can remove a hair, and a conscious removal of the hair results in a penalty, which we're going to go into later. Because of that, people like to delay their entrance into the state of ihram as much as possible. So I'm going to stop over here before we go to the manasik. Any questions about this so far? Yes? Yes. I don't like wearing, I don't go too often. Like I just once every decade or something, if Allah gives tawfiq, I go for umrah. I don't really have that capability to go regularly. But because I wear lungi regularly, the izar regularly around the house, I don't like wearing a belt. Because I'm just so comfortable as it is anyway. But if someone is not comfortable, wear the belt. Because all day long you'll be thinking, is it falling off? Is it not falling off? Am I exposed? Am I not exposed? You're fine, most likely. So with the belt, what you will do is when you put on the ihram, you'll clip it around your stomach, the belt. And these belts, they do not violate your ihram. It looks like a belt with a pouch. In it, people keep money. They keep essential documents like a copy of their passports, maybe some phone numbers for their group. And then they fold over that belt, their top of their ihram. That way, they don't have any worry that the ihram will fall. Because the ihram, if you actually look at it, when you're tying it, it comes to almost here or here. You have to roll it over, which is nice. But then when you roll it over the belt, that belt will give you an extra sense of security. You are allowed to use pins as well. You can have sewn into it those snap buttons as well. But honestly, if you just become accustomed before leaving for the trip, this will be the easiest for you on the trip. So next few days, wear it around the house, etc. If you're afraid it might fall, wear something long over it, so if it does slip, that's not a problem. You know, with kids growing up wearing ihram, like kids growing up in the last 19 years, sometimes a little tug, blah, 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 doesn't do anything if you're used to it. Okay, second question. I think you had two. Yes. Yes. It can be, but a lot of stores will sell something called a ihram belt, or you'll see these fanny packs that go around the waist that have a place you can keep your documents. That might be good because at least you can keep things there. Sisters, if you have any questions as well, you can ask. You can also message my number. I'll say it every so often. It's 224-628-0249. I have my phone here for that reason. And if any of you want to message during the presentation or any time outside as well, because I'm here regularly for, inshallah, regularly for all of you, it's 224-628-0249. Any other ihram-related questions? Yes?
I have the habit of touching my
So do I, yes.
So what if the hair falls
depending on the intention behind it and how much falls off, you would be liable. So this is where the practice in advance comes in. When I went to Hajj back then, I'm in the, you know how this spring, summer, fall, winter? I'm in fall right now. The leaves change colors and they already fell. When I went I was younger. I was in full summer. I had long hair. And I would always have the habit of doing this. And it took me a while to break that habit before. Because you do this and then now all of a sudden there's hair in your fingers. Get used to it, inshallah. If it happens there, inshallah it won't. You'll be surprised how, remember ihram is a state? You'll be surprised how vigilant you are in ihram. Because you're so unaccustomed to wearing those clothes that it will help you remain in that state. And you'll see yourself hold back. Now sometimes a person, like, they're doing wudu and they go through their hair, they go through their beard, that's different. Or someone is taking a shower, because you are allowed to shower in ihram. Let's see if any questions. I just saw this light up. Questions? No questions so far. Oh, we have one. Do we need to make wudu to recite talbiyah? The answer is no. However, it's easier. But let's say you fall asleep on the plane, then you wake up and they're like, can you recite talbiyah right now? You do not need to make wudu. Then also when it comes to these things, alhamdulillah, you have on-site scholars, but please WhatsApp me from a distance, from the Haramain, and I will, inshallah, happily answer. But you'll have people by you. You won't need me there. But just in case, just reach out to me, inshallah. Okay. Yes. Gigi. So the intention that's given is actually very, very simple. It is, oh Allah, I make the intention for ihram, and then you'll specify, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment. Not in a moment, actually a little further now. But the intention, if you're doing an umrah, you make the intention of ihram for umrah. If you're doing intention for ihram for Hajj Qiran or Hajj Tamattu', you'll make that intention as well. And remember, the intention does not have to be on the tongue. The intention has to only be in your heart. So you don't have to say, what's the Arabic, etc. No, at that moment you're putting this on, you make intention. Oh Allah, I'm about to perform my umrah, accept it from me. Or oh Allah, making the intention of ihram for you, accept it from me. You do not have to make it verbally. Again, I'm going to ask my son to bring some of these copies as well. Actually, let me just tell him. But one of the things you'll see over here is that he is constantly mentioning, and I wish we had this session a couple weeks ago. Why? Because in this, I could have directed you like I did last year to go to this program. This program was held a couple weeks ago or last week at the Sacred Learning Center. I didn't go, but I've gone to it before, multiple occasions. It's very, very beneficial. It's all recorded online. At the end, I'll show you the website, inshallah. Okay. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, remove and put it back on. The shower, often there, the bathrooms will be just holes in the ground. There are more Western toilets than before. And so what they have, these hooks. So after you use the restroom, and you clean yourself, they would have these hooks and like this lever that you pull, and then you shower, men and women alike. And you have your clothes on these hooks, and you shower. You want to probably shower because you're not wearing deodorant, you're not applying deodorant, you're not applying scent in this time. And so showering, one, cools you off nicely. And number two, it cleans you so others don't have to smell us. But number three, we feel more comfortable. We're so used to life over here that we feel dirty often. So now when we take that shower, it makes us feel better, which will allow us to perform the Hajj and Umrah easier. Just the water shower, yes. Just the water shower. Please don't go through, just let it just pour on you. You can just use your hand to wipe over, but don't be aggressive in the shower. Was there any other question? This phone vibrated. Two questions. In the state of ihram, are we allowed to wear a knee brace due to a ligament injury? And number two, in the state of ihram, just to confirm, toothpaste should be unscented and unflavored. Yes, it should be unscented and unflavored. There are ihram-friendly toothpaste out there that Muslim companies have made. I personally, when I've gone, I just use miswak the entire time, just very regularly. And if you do it with regularity, you're usually okay. In terms of the brace, knee brace for a ligament injury, it is permissible. However, you want to also check if it's necessary. If like it helps, look, medically there's always dispensations. But also as someone who have both my ACLs are partially or fully torn. And so if I'm wearing that knee brace, it helps me. But at the same time, you're sweating underneath. So that sometimes gets very uncomfortable. Or you have like an ankle issue, so you have this ankle brace. If it's not necessary medically, just be a little careful of having it on, because that's going to perspire more. And that's going to lend to a person having more discomfort. Okay, perfect. The manasik. What are the manasik? The manasik are going to be the acts that we do during Hajj. They are in a very simple diagram like this. A person is going to perform the tawaf. We go through all of the order, day by day at the end. Then they're going to go for Mina. Then they go to here they are. They're at Tawaf, they go to Mina, then they come back and they'll go for, Mina's here, all the way to Arafah, then Muzdalifah. That's what they're going to do. Mina, Tawaf, Arafah, Muzdalifah. It's just back and forth between these two places. Now what do? This is what we're going to do. There are different types of Hajj that exist. There is a Hajj that has no Umrah attached to it. That's called Hajj Ifrad. Some people do it, especially if they want to be quick in, quick out, work reasons, school reasons, other reasons. There's Hajj Qiran, which is more difficult. You'll put on Ihram once. You will perform your Umrah. You will not shave your head or cut your hair. And then you'll remain in that state of Ihram and the physical Ihram until the days of Hajj begin. And then you will go to the Hajj. So now rather than being in that physical Ihram pretty much for the 8th, 9th, and part of the 10th, and then getting out of the state usually by the 11th, 12th, a person might start on the 1st of Dhul Hijjah. So now it's 10 days. Or the 2nd of Dhul Hijjah, now it's 9 days. Because they did a Hajj Qiran, where the Umrah and the Hajj had one shared Ihram. And then there's Hajj Tamattu'. This is what most people do. They do Umrah when they arrive, then they get out. Now they're just enjoying themselves. They're doing whatever's permissible outside of Ihram. They're neither in the state of Ihram, nor wearing the clothing of Ihram. It's up to you or your group what you're doing. I would just ask so you know what your intention would be. So you'll do the Umrah, you'll do wuquf, which means when you arrive in certain areas, all you're doing is just sitting there, hanging out, quite literally. Rami, throw stones. Hadi or Qurban, you will slaughter. Halq al-Qasr, you will shave or cut your hair. Now, where do we do these? All of these things are going to be aligned with certain places. I put Madinatul Munawwara with an asterisk over here, because Medina is technically not part of the Hajj. However, there are narrations that indicate that when we come for Hajj, we should visit the Prophet ﷺ, and it's a show of gratitude as well. Now, when we're looking at this list, and we're looking at this list, it's sort of difficult to see them independently. So now if we put these two together, this is how we'll look. In Makkah you do tawaf and sa'i. In Mina you do the rami, the hadi, and the halq or qasr, cutting or shaving. Arafah you do wuquf, Muzdalifah you do wuquf. Why do I want to bring them together? Because this is sometimes overwhelming. This is very overwhelming. This is like, oh, that's all we have to do? Yes, that's all you have to do. Hajj is a big waiting game. All you're doing is you're going to a place and wait. Sometimes there's small acts you have to do. You will be tested by your patience there because of the fact that there's a lot of people doing things. Secondly, you're also going to be tested by your time management. When I'm there, am I just hanging out and talking to peers? Am I just checking scores on my phone? Am I just reading a random literature book? Or am I recognizing I'm in a state of ihram, in a place that's also the haram, it's sanctified? Am I maximizing my time there? So some people will be deep in worship, some people will be the opposite, and some people will be in between. At least be in between, if not deep in worship. It's a once in a lifetime or once in two lifetime opportunities, like we mentioned in the very beginning. Maximize it. Now the journey itself. This is going to be the actual step-by-step days of Hajj. But before I go through step-by-step days of Hajj, any questions about this? Now if you're asking when I should do what, that's coming up literally right now. But any questions about any of these things? You want me to translate a term? You want to know anything about them? And I'll see if any message came through from the sisters or from the brothers who prefer. Okay, nothing here, nothing here. We're good. Bismillah. Actually, one more thing here. The initial Umrah Niyyah should be for Umrah only. I land a few days before the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. I will leave the stay after the initial Umrah. Okay, just trying to figure it out. I will give you that right now in this step by step. So your question is exactly what we go through here. Now you land. And maybe for next year, I'll make a this year I added like 7 or 8 slides. But based on that comment, I think I'll add another slide for next year. The pre-ihram days. So let's just start before day 1. You arrive day -4. You're there 4 days in advance. What do? The moment you arrive at the miqat, you're either at a place in the airport or you are physically in a place traveling, maybe by foot, like from Medina or by car. Before the miqat, you did your ghusl or wudu. You put on your ihram. You then pray 2 rak'ah. With the ihram, you put on scent, you put on deodorant, everything you can before the state. Now, you pray 2 rak'ah. You make du'a. You make the intention now that if you are making the intention there for ihram, know what you're doing. If you're doing Hajj Qiran, you're going to make the ihram with the intention of Hajj Qiran. Meaning you're going to perform Umrah and Hajj with the same ihram. If you're making it for Tamattu', you can make the intention for Hajj Tamattu'. And what that means is that you're wearing ihram only for this Umrah. So if you're making for Hajj Qiran, you're making intention, I'm going to be in this garment for the next 9 days. If you're making it for, or whatever, 8 days, whatever amount you're staying. Hajj Tamattu', you make it for Hajj Tamattu', but what does that mean? I'm intending to perform Umrah and end my ihram after I'm done with Umrah. Okay, now, if you're in Hajj Qiran, let's say you get to the 2nd day of Dhul Hijjah. You perform your Umrah, which is what? You perform your tawaf, the Umrah itself. You perform tawaf. You perform sa'i. So you're going to go perform tawaf. You're going to perform sa'i. At the end, we're going to literally do a walkthrough of this. Once you perform Umrah and you perform sa'i, which is running back and forth, then what will happen? If you're in Tamattu', you will cut or shave your head and then you will leave your ihram. If you're not in tamattu', what do? If you're in qiran, you will do the tawaf, you'll do the sa'i, and then, I know someone might say, well, what about a 2 rak'ah, what about zamzam? At the end, we do that at the end. And then you will not shave your head, qiran, you will not cut your hair, and you will leave these clothes on. And you're going to be state of ihram for how many days before the Hajj, depending on your arrival time. Then, on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, it could be the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, it could be the 6th of Dhul Hijjah, it could be the 30th of Dhul Qa'dah. You'll perform your first tawaf. And this first tawaf will be the tawaf of qudum. This is the tawaf of arrival over here. So now, like I said, at the end, we're going to go through the practical aspects. These terms that you're hearing, tawaf, qudum, sometimes we confuse them. So I'm going to use interspersed the Arabic and the terms meaning. Qudum, you arrived. Separate from your umrah, you have not. Oh, by the way, does everyone know what type of Hajj they're doing? I just want to make it easier. Hajj, Qiran, which one are you doing? Tamattu'. Anyone not doing tamattu'? Tamattu'. So everyone's doing tamattu'. The sisters, are you doing tamattu'? Do you know? My assumption is you're doing tamattu' as well. So let's just look at this practically. Now I've arrived to the Kaaba. Once I've arrived with my group, I have now come into the Haram. What are you doing? You see, if you've never been there before, it's a very grand experience. If you've been there before, it's changed since then, so it's probably still going to be a very grand experience. You see from a distance these like minarets that peek out. You arrive probably to your hotel. Once you've arrived to your hotel, what should you do? Don't rush out to ihram right away. Listen to your group. Sometimes people say, well, I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm capable, I'm going to go do it right away. Your Hajj group leader has years of experience. And what he will do, likely he, it could be she, was that they're going to advise you as following: rest first, because this is going to be an arduous journey. So you are now in your state of ihram, you're wearing your ihram clothing, and they say just rest. We're going to go at the quote-unquote downtime. Listen to them. Don't be people who say, I know how to do this. That's great, but if you get caught in the big push, the big crowd, a tawaf, which without any exaggeration, should be done in, like going around the Kaaba once without crowd over there, you can do it in 5 minutes. You can do it in less than 5 minutes. So now a person who has a lot of crowd, every circuit of the Kaaba becomes a 25-minute, half-hour ordeal. So now instead of the entire tawaf part being half hour, every circuit is a half hour, or it's 20 minutes, depending on how many people are there, and you're there for hours on end. It's very difficult. So listen to what they say. They say, okay, let's go, let's rest, you're at the hotel, eat something, you're allowed to eat, drink something, you're allowed to drink, take a nap, you're allowed to take a nap. Now they say we're going to go for the umrah. So now you're heading for the umrah. Yes? You in your ihram. When you wake up, just redo wudu. You're absolutely fine. Now, if someone in their nap has a wet dream, which is possible for men and women, when you wake up, what do? Remember, always keep a spare ihram. Just switch that, take a shower, and put on the spare ihram. You're fine. It didn't break your ihram. That was not a conscious decision. It happened by the will of Allah, and it wasn't something that you forced. So now in my state of ihram, I'm not speaking illicit speech. I'm not speaking intimate speech. I'm not insulting people. I'm not trying to step on cockroaches, etc. All these things are made haram for me. I'm walking towards the haram. I get into the entrance. Your tour guide or your Hajj guide would likely say, don't look up. Because the narration of Sunan Nisa'i, the Prophet ﷺ, when he entered towards the Kaaba, he was looking down, and from a distance he saw the Kaaba when he looked up, and he made dua. So it is from the established practices when you see the Kaaba to make your first dua. Thus you want to make it a full view, Because sometimes you see edges of it, the way the haram is, you can see parts of it. So it's better just to keep walking, everyone's walking. You descend to the mataf, the lowest floor, and then you sort of move to the side, and you look up, and you take in the entire view of the Kaaba. Sometimes it's very overwhelming. Some people smile, some people cry, some people are just in awe. It depends person to person. For some people who've collected their entire life, and now this is one of the last things they're doing, it's very overwhelming. So you step aside, you see the Kaaba. Take your time, make dua. Just make dua. According to the statement of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, this is going to be a time where dua is accepted. So make your heart's content dua. I don't recommend having a list of people's duas with you right now. You'll have time for that later. I'll get into that. Once you're done making dua, even though we enter the masjid, there is no tahiyatul masjid. The tawaf is the tahiyatul masjid. Tahiyatul masjid is the 2 rak'ah we make to greet the masjid when we enter. That's your tawaf. Your tawaf takes that place. So now you've entered, you see the Kaaba, you're in this amazement. You're going to look on the wall, and there's going to be a green light. And if it's not too crowded, you'll notice coming down the wall to the Kaaba is this line. And what's that line? That line is telling you where to begin your tawaf. And so what you'll do is you group, and you'll see it gets a little packed at that point because everyone is stopping for a moment. The Prophet ﷺ, what he did was he went to the black stone and he kissed the black stone. I'm telling you, don't do that for 2 reasons, but in the end, it's your choice. Number 1, a lot of people, for some reason, love to put scent on the black stone. They lather it with scent. Guess what state we're in? Ihram. And guess what's not permissible? Putting on scent. Number 2, it gets so packed then, and people are fighting to touch it. Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu said a very interesting statement. He kissed the black stone and then he said, "O black stone, you're only a stone. And had it not been for my Prophet kissing you, I would not have done so." So instead of going to kiss it, because it's going to take a lot of strength, sometimes people lose parts of the ihram there, sometimes people get pushed aside. I don't think it's worth it, but it's up to you. You're going to line up that green light, that line in the black stone. You're going to line it up. When you reach there, you will not turn your chest. The chest is always facing straight. You will take your hands and you will say the tasmiyah, the takbir, and then you will kiss your hands as a gesture. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. And now you start walking. Tawaf is just walking. Tawafa yatufu means to go around something. So if this is my bag, if I'm just walking around my bag, for example, I'm doing tawaf of my bag. This is my walking around the bag. I'm doing tawaf of it. The Kaaba, tawafa yatufu, to do tawaf of the Kaaba means we go around it. And the way you'll go around it is you will go around it counterclockwise. Your shoulder will be towards the Kaaba. When you reach that line, the extension of the black stone, you begin, your quote-unquote takbir tahrima for prayer is just this. And you say the statement when I just mentioned, and inshallah, we'll cover that in detail at the end with your questions and etc. So now you begin to walk around the Kaaba. At certain points it'll be packed, certain points it won't be. What do you do there? You can recite Quran, you can make dua, you can stay silent. What shouldn't we do there? Man, look at all these people. Man, they're pushing everyone, etc. That's not the time to speak to people. That's the time to speak to Allah. Let all your worries out. Oh Allah, I fear for my children. It's not easy nowadays to see them grow over here. Oh Allah, my parents have left this world. Oh Allah, reward them and forgive them. Oh Allah, thank you for letting me come. I never thought I would make it. It's your conversation with Allah. People sometimes they have these books and they're trying to read these du'as. There's no sunnah du'a, with one exception, as you go around the Kaaba. There's not. Sometimes they're reading all these Arabic du'as and they're not focused. And they're bumping into people, oh, I'm so sorry, etc., etc. No. As you walk, make dua from your heart. Oh Allah, it's been a very tough year. I lost a couple of beloved family members. They've gone back to you. Oh Allah, I look for your ease. Oh Allah, thank you. You made me Muslim. I didn't deserve this deen, I deserve this gift, but you gave it to me. Whatever you want to say. Oh Allah, I'm in the place where revelation came. You changed the hearts of those who used to worship idols. Change my heart, because there's some idols out there, fake idols, that I worship as well. And as you're walking around the Kaaba, you're going to reach a point that's called the Rukn Yamani, the corner, the Yemeni corner. The Yemeni corner is the last corner before the black stone. At that corner, what will you do? You will increase one dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً. Our Lord, give us good in this world. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. And give us good in the hereafter. وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And save us from the hellfire. That's what you're going to say. Now you're walking around there, and you're saying this dua at that last part. Everything else, you don't have to make a specific dua. It's up to you. But that's the one prescribed sunnah dua. That's the one prescribed sunnah dua that you'll make. Now, one more thing that I should mention is that when you have your women with you, be very mindful of them. Because unfortunately, what happens during this time is that there are some people who have sick intention. When my wife went to Hajj with me, I had her stand in front of me. I'm not a very big person, and I kept my hands like this. Why? Because some people, they do some wrong acts there. Some people, you want about the whole thing? Yeah. No? Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. That's fine, no problem. Jazakumullah. Inshallah. Are you going now, or are you going to go later? These all got stained. Oh, that's what I see what I mean. It's not very picturesque. Oh, man. Okay, no problem. Well, I'm going to wear it anyway. But I'm wondering why it's so stained. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to put it on. Okay. So, belt's in there? Perfect. Sorry, we don't go for Hajj too often, and so you see over here, this is like the type of belt I was mentioning. Actually, one moment. I'm just going to show you how to put it on. I apologize for the stains there. We don't use it. I'm just going to show you how to put it on. Say it again? Yeah, but I think that's my... Yeah, I'll show you how to wear it, inshallah. So, this is Anas's, the small one. I don't think I could use this. Well, I'll use it anyway. Okay, here. So you cannot wear a topi either. There's no covering the head. So, very awkward, but... So now, and you can't wear this. Okay, this you can't, none of this is on. For the lower garments, let me take a bigger lower garment here. Okay, here. Yes. All you do for lower garments, for the men, by the way, don't do this. Your legs get stuck. Stand wide, put this across your waist, under the rib cage, bring this across, and just fold to right above your belly button. Now, I have a lot of room. I'm not exposing myself, and I can walk with ease. So this is very easy. If you're like, I'm still not comfortable with that, what you can do is you can take your ihram, you can put it far over here, inside of your rib cage, across and fold. And then what you want to do is you'll take your fanny pack and just go around it. You can put your documents here, etc. You can tighten it. I forgot where the strap is, but you tighten it, and then you fold over this, because there are people who still look to steal there. So you want to hide this. And by the way, one of the advices that one of my teachers gave is that if someone bumps you, right away we always look for our valuables. So they bump you right away, like we reach for it. Don't reach for it. Why? Because that's what they're looking to see. Where's your hand going? They bump you, they see, oh, he went there. I'm going to snip it. And people have done that before at the Kaaba. So what do? Someone bumps you, just keep going. Because if you reach right away, you might have like a small little backpack. Backpacks are okay. They'll give you those drawstring bags. You might have one underneath your ihram on top. And then they bump you, and you right away reach, like, oh, that's where his valuables are, that's where her valuables are. Don't reach. Okay? So now you have your lower garment on, your upper garment.
Quick question.
Yes.
Should those valuables, should you need to carry in, or you can leave it at the hotel?
Leave it at the hotel. Yeah, leave it at the hotel. And this top one, for the brother, most people wear it like this. You can also do this. Now look, I'm covered. I'm pretty covered. This was quick. And actually, I don't even like this lower wrap, so I'll take it off this belt. So here I am, I'm covered. Here I am. I am covered. If I could just get it on properly here. Spread it, put it over yourself. I'm good. Very comfortable. I'm just as covered as I was with my thobe on. If I want to pin it, I could pin it. You're fine.